September 2nd, 1945, Japan officially surrendered from World War II. So now Korea, who was under the Japanese Empire, became divided into two sides. The North occupied by the Soviet Union and the South occupied by the United States, and divided in half by the 38th parallel. North Korea was ruled by Kim Il-sung, while the South was ruled by Sim Il-rin. Both sides wanted to reunite Korea, but under their control. So in the end, a war broke out. So the North launched an invasion towards the South Korea. On June 25th, 1950, and even taking the capital of South Korea, Simeo, pushing the South all the way back to Pisan. So actually, on June 27, 1950, United States officially entered the Korean War, supporting the Republic of Korea. But they were only able to hold their feet for about 3 hours under the North Koreans' attack. So the Americans, who feared that the domino effect might come up, meaning that if South Korea fell into the communist hand, so might the other countries. So they called up a meeting from the United Nations Security Council. So as a result, approval was granted from UN nation, made of an international force of 16 nations, to send help to South Korea, commanded by General Douglas MacArthur. And this is a brief map of how many countries had joined the war. Who was a celebrated general in the World War II. So, also taking 36,000 US soldiers with him, which had arrived at around August to the South Korea's aid. So, General Douglas MacArthur did a way that North Korea did not expect. They landed their boat on city Incheon, which is supposed to be very difficult to land, which is very hard to land and have a very, very high risk. But surprisingly, the Americans succeeded, which the North Korean did not expect and didn't even have any army on there. So now South Korea, with the new force arriving, went on offense and pushed north all the way back to close the Chinese border, Yalu River. Well, now China has officially warned the UN that China will be forced to join the war if it gets too close to the Chinese border. Well, the US President Truman, who did not really want China to join the war, did not grant permission for General Douglas MacArthur to go on offense. But General Douglas MacArthur did it anyways, pushing the North Korean all the way back to the Chinese border. And finally, the South had gone too far. On October the 19th, 1955, China officially joined the war, supporting the North of Korea. China had sent a troop of 2,500 men crossing the Yalu River. So now the North Korea had the new force and began pushing the South back, all the way back to the 38th parallel. So now President Truman, who was angry that his command was ignored, went back to a policy of containment, sending more forces to Korea just to stabilize the front. So now in America, President D.Y. Eisenhower took over as president, who had ordered his army to return to America immediately. After 2 years of communicating and negotiation, the peace was finally signed at the 38th parallel on July the 7th, 1953, between the two presidents Kim Il-sung and Roh Moo-hee. Now, the two sides finally came to a peace.